The last train to nowhere. It was a cold, misty night when Daniel boarded the last train out of Ravenswood. The station was nearly empty, except for a few tired travelers. He found an empty seat near the window, pulled his coat tighter around him, and stared into the darkness. As the train rumbled forward, he noticed something strange. The passengers were eerily silent. No one was talking, not even whispering. A man in a suit sat across from him, reading an old newspaper. A woman in a red dress stared blankly ahead. The only sound was the rhythmic clatter of the train on the tracks. Daniel turned to the old man beside him. "Excuse me, do you know how long until we reach the next stop?" The man looked at him with tired eyes and said, "There are no stops." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean? Every train has a destination." "Not this one," the man replied. "This is the last train to nowhere." Daniel chuckled nervously. "You're joking, right?" The old man sighed. "Look outside." Daniel turned to the window. At first, all he saw was darkness. But then, something changed. The landscape was unfamiliar, twisted trees, endless fog, and shadows that moved unnaturally. It felt wrong. His heart pounded. "This isn't right. I got on at Ravenswood. I need to get off." The old man shook his head. "You can't." Daniel stood up, but the train car seemed to stretch endlessly in both directions. The passengers remained frozen, their faces expressionless. Panic gripped him. He ran toward the door at the end of the car and tried to open it locked. Then he saw a faded sign above the door, "Passengers of the last train to nowhere, once aboard, forever aboard." Daniel's breath caught in his throat. He turned back to the old man. "Why am I here?" The old man studied him. "Only lost souls board this train. Do you remember how you got to the station?" Daniel's mind raced. He had been walking home from work. A sudden flash of headlights, a sharp pain. A terrible realization hit him. He wasn't alive. The old man nodded, as if reading his thoughts. "Except that this train never stops." Daniel sank into his seat, cold dread washing over him. Outside, the fog swallowed the train whole, carrying its silent passengers into the unknown.